Okay, I want to talk to you today about left-handed ejection uppers from Bearcreek Arsenal. Just go through my evolution with their product. I'm a dedicated left-handed shooter, and I purchased my first left-handed gun back in 2000, and it was a Benelli left-handed 3.5-inch Super Black Eagle. At the time, they were the only people in the world that made a left-handed 3.5. And of course they make a 3-inch also in the M1 and the Montefeltro, but I need that for goose hunting, and it was awesome to have a gun that didn't throw shells in front of your face. For years, since I've been 12, I've been buying different guns, and I guess the Browning Auto 5 is the worst. That throws all kinds of belching smoke and flames and unburned gunpowder back into your face, and I probably owned 4 of those in my lifetime, just hoping they would work, and they never did. So when I got a left-handed Benelli, that was it. That was the end of that. So I wanted just to go through what I've done with Bearcreek Arsenal. I'm sure somewhere in their boardroom they're wondering how one guy can buy so many receivers, but I first bought a right-handed Generation 1 223 barrel. And it worked really well, except it did not have a deflector on it. So as a left-handed shooter, half the time the shells would come back and brush my cheek. I also got a 7.62 by 39, which did the same thing, and it was frustrating for me. So the 7.62 by 39 Gen 1 just would not work out for me. The handle came off all the time. About 17, 18, 20 rounds is about all I could get out of it, and then the handle would fall off into the dirt, and then I'd say horrible words that sweet baby Jesus don't like to hear. So anyway, I called customer service, and say what you want about Bearcreek Arsenal. Their customer service people listen to you and take care of your needs. They really are interested in making sure that you're happy in the end. So I sent it back to them and said, hey, do whatever you got to do so I can shoot this all afternoon without it falling apart. And they sent me a upper like this. This is not it. This is a 223 upper, but they just sent me a standard T-pull, and I put that on there, and it worked pretty good. The deflector would keep the brass off from my face for the most part, but you still got a lot of flames coming out of here from time to time. Especially I shoot suppressed, so you're getting a little bit of back pressure from that, and wasn't that happy with it. I've always been happy with the reliability of the uppers that I've received from Bearcreek. I've been happy with their accuracy also. So they're certainly not subpar in any way, shape, or form in those two aspects. But I'm just trying to get a gun that I can shoot comfortably. So I had a chance to build a gun for a friend of mine, and so I took this off and purchased another one, which is a left-handed 223 left eject. And this is the Gen 2, and I haven't had any trouble with my 7.62 Gen 2, so this is really working out nice. And I thought, well, let's spend a little extra money. I got the fluted barrel, stainless steel. As you can see, they come with a really nice stainless steel flash suppressor on the end, which never made it out of the box for me. I took that immediately off and put this one on because this is my adapter for my GSL suppressor, which is a multi-cal. Excellent suppressor. So anyway, this is my new gun, and I think I've gone through 4 receivers to get this thing right. It was a Gen 2 right. Then I got a Gen 1 right. Then I got a Gen 1 left, and that's the one that would not stay together. Then they sent me the right-handed T-handle, and that worked great, but I finally have a Gen 2. And you probably ask yourself, well, why didn't you just buy the Gen 2 right off the bat? Well, BCA didn't have one available. This is a evolution on their part too, because they tried to get the Gen 1 to work forever, and I'm pretty sure they discovered that wasn't working out very well. Their research and development team put together a Gen 2 program and tested it, which took a while. you could send your guns back and have them repaired or modified for $100, but that was only a right-handed weapon. You couldn't do it with a left-handed receiver, so that didn't work out. But I got to tell you, customer service worked really well for me. All right, let's switch to another idea about left-handed shooting. I've read a lot of, or I've watched a lot of. Let's talk about left-eject. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube where people say, well, you might be right-handed and it would be really handy if you had a left eject because the handle would be where you can see it. And I must tell you, as a left-handed shooter, that shooting right-handed guns does have its advantages, especially like a 870 Remington, because the injection port is right there. Rack around back, you can put one in. I mean, you're looking right at it. You don't have to flip the gun over. It's not on the backside. It's right there. You can shove a single shot in, throw the slide forward. Same thing works on a 223 or a M4 upper of any sort. I mean, you're looking right at it. But the problem is the ejection is coming back into your face. And unlike a T-handle system, which they do not make in a left-handed version, they only make it in a right-handed version. This deflector is not available when you get a Gen 2 upper. And that causes a problem because if your timing is a little off, there is nothing on this gun to keep the ejected shells, if they come back on an angle, from hitting my face. And with the 7.62 shooting steel case ammo all the time, that was a problem because maybe the buffer in the spring was really consistent here, but I'm not sure that the output pressure from the cheap ammo that I'm shooting, was that great. So sometimes they go off on a 3 o'clock angle. Sometimes it'd be 9 o'clock. Sometimes it'd be back here in the 5, 6 o'clock, and those shells would come back and brush you on the cheek or leave a mark or whatever. Either way, you would go home from the range dirty. So I really don't like that idea at all, and I wouldn't really promote it. So if you're a left-handed person, you're in tremendous luck, because right-handed people can go buy right eject uppers anywhere they want to. BCA has been one of the few people or companies out there that have expanded into the left eject market. So as a left-handed shooter, I'm really fortunate. And I really appreciate BCA doing that, where they have come up with this setup right here. So that having been said, now I can have 2 rifles that are left eject, and I'm living in high cotton because I don't have to take shells in the face. I'm not taking any powder in the face. If I'm running suppressed, I don't have any overpressure in my face. That's taken care of by this little screw back here, and I'm really living large. Now, that's my thought on that. My next thought is how to set up your left-handed rifle correctly. So this is the scope mount by Burris that I've used on my right-handed all the time. But here's the problem with it. The screws are on the left side. So if I come back here to pull on this and to load it, I'm racking my fingers, my inside of my hand on these screws all the time. And you can tell yourself all day long that, well, I won't do that when I'm out in the field, but that's exactly what happens. So this is a compare and contrast, because this is my 7.62 upper. And as you can see, it's got a Leopold mount on it, and the Leopold mount has 6 screws. I'm doing this backwards, folks. 6 screws, and they're on the right-hand side that hold this onto the M4 upper. So if I'm going to rack this, I don't have any trouble with screws hitting my hand. Some things to think about. Now, this particular receiver has a right-handed safety and not a universal. So I'll probably be fixing that also. So I went down and I dug around in my arsenal, and I found this scope mount right here, which I don't know what the quality is versus my Leopold. I really do like the Leopold, but if you notice, it's got 4 screws right here that do not protrude. So this will be placed onto my upper, and then I don't have to worry about racking my hand on open screws. All right, a couple features on this new barrel. It's a 20-inch barrel to begin with, so it's a little bit longer than the 16s or the 18s. The flutes on the front right here are about 4 inches long, and then they stop, and I see it goes down to the block. And then if you look inside, which you probably can't see that well, the barrel is fluted back to the about this area right here. So it really has a nice flash suppressor on it. That's stainless steel also. That had to come off. This particular rifle I really set up for .223. I want to use it for prairie dogs and so on. So I do have an ambidextrous safety on it. And I also put a fixed stock on it so that I can maybe put a pad on it or find something that really works out well. As I mentioned, this is going to be gone. And I'm going to take this out and see what kind of groups it shoots, and I'll report back to you later. Dug out. I talked earlier about my .223 left eject, and while I was at it, I might as well do that to the 7.62 by 39. I've had a couple of those uppers. Gen 1 was my biggest trouble because I couldn't keep the handle on. I don't know how guys do it. I see guys on the internet, they say they're shooting 400 or 500 rounds and that Gen 1 handle would stay on, but I could never get it past like 20 rounds. But anyway, got that problem solved. This is a brand new upper. It's a left-hand eject Gen 2. I've shot it quite a bit. My biggest problem so far is I've shot it about, I said quite a bit, I've shot it about 40 rounds, and I've broken 4 of their enhanced firing pins so far. Right now it's got a standard stainless steel pin in, which has taken a lot of rounds from other guns and has never broken in this one, so not sure what the problem is there, but customer service just keeps sending me new firing pins, so we'll see what happens there. Anyway, I'm not going to do too much about accuracy on this one. This is a fun gun. We're going to shoot steel plates with it this summer and see how many rounds we can burn up. Dug out. Our next test is a Bearcreek Arsenal .223 Wild, and this has got a stainless steel fluted 20-inch barrel on it. And I've had several uppers from Bearcreek in .223. They all seem to work really well. What I was looking for is a left eject. Being a left-hander, I can put up with stuff flying in front of my face, but I really don't like doing it. So when they came out with the left-handed version, I got a 7.62 and I could not keep the handle on it to save my life, so got rid of that and wanted to get a .223, and circumstances worked out good for me, so I now got a Gen 2, and the Gen 2s are rock solid for the most part, and I haven't heard one person complain about them. So I'm going to do a little accuracy testing with this gun. It's got about 15-20 rounds through it maybe, and I want to see what it'll do with the suppressor. I just happen to have my chronograph out here because I was running the .223, and so might as well run it through there. Should get somewhere around 3,200, I would guess. Okay, we talked about the Bearcreek Arsenal 20-inch stainless steel fluted barrel with the left eject, and shot it a couple of times just to break it in, brought it back, gave it a thorough cleaning, which I will do again, and then fired these rounds. I fired a 5-round group with the 60 grain partition. Let's look at that one. Working backwards here, so bear with me. That's that group, which was horrible, 2.84, and it's a 1 in 8 twist, so I kind of expected better than that. So then I went and got 55 grain Federal and shot that group, and that ended up being this group here. I would rather shoot 55 than 60. I'm not really into all this pencil long bullets, and this is just a standard Federal bullet. Shot .688, ladies and gentlemen, from Bearcreek. How about that? That is an awesome group. I love the little triangles too. So dug around in my box and I found some Hornady 55 SX bullets that I reloaded. Let's see, maybe I got the numbers on that. Oh yeah, 27 grains of BLC2, and that group shot a .590. Now I know those are 3-shot groups. All you accuracy buffs out there are going to have a hissy fit over it, but I'm shooting a $270 upper, ladies and gentlemen, and that thing dumped him in there about that that distance. So this is at 100 yards, and that round has an average of 3207, so that's a pretty nice little round right there. So the Hornadys, if I can find it, had an average of 3095. So holy cow, my reloads are 150 feet per second faster. And then just to finish off the day, I just had to verify my 22-250. That is not that great of a group for my 22-250, but I like it an inch high, and we're about an inch high. And that group's a .69. Been shooting that gun forever and ever, and it really shoots nice. That's an average speed of 37.14, which is smoking on woodchucks. Now, the winner of the day is not on this graph. Maybe I can find it. Oh, here it is. There it is, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 rounds out of my 7.62 by 39. That's probably a 3-inch group, I'll give you that. But listen to the numbers on the chronograph. Average speed 2383. 5-shot group. Extreme spread on steel case ammo was 17 with a standard deviation of 6. And if you are an accuracy buff, you would jump over the moon for those kind of numbers. But not exactly the best group in the world. If I took away this flyer, we'd be down to 1.25 inches. Not bad for a screw-off gun. Dug out.